Hey, good morning, everybody. We are live again for session number 2 of Mainline Today's Fit Fest kickoff, which is unbelievably exciting. And if you haven't heard of it now, well, you'll definitely hear a lot of it moving forward. So, anyways, my name is Justin McEwen. I am the founder of Out of the Ordinary Coaching and the Fitness Revive program. I partnered with Mainline today to kick off their Fit Fest, which is just going to be like the greatest thing ever when it comes to fitness. I mean, like the amount of knowledge that I'm going to be dropping on. Good morning, how we doing? The amount of knowledge I'm going to be dropping on you guys over the next 3 months leading up to the Fit Fest is going to be more than your brains can handle. So make sure you clear room up there for all of the knowledge I'll be putting in there, all those filing cabinets. Make sure you have space for Justin McEwen stuff, okay? But again, we're going to be doing these lives, okay, every Monday at 9:30, okay, in the morning, and then also Thursdays at 10:30. So you can find me here on Mainline Today's Facebook page going live Mondays at 9:30 and Thursdays at 10:30, right? So again, like I said, up here, all those filing cabinets, it's time to clear out some of the stuff you don't need and make room for all the knowledge, okay, guys? So today, wow, what a topic we have today. I mean, carbs, everyone's biggest enemy, apparently. It's just everyone, when it comes to weight loss, when it comes to fat loss, that's what everyone is trying to avoid. So if you're just tuning in now or you're watching the replay, let's start off by dropping a comment, all capitals. Let's actually, let's drop a comment of your favorite carb. What's your favorite carb? You like pasta? Are you a bread person? Are you a white rice? Are you a brown rice? Are you a potato? Are you a Pop-Tart Oreo type of person, right? What is your favorite carbohydrate sources? I want to hear it in the comments, guys. So go ahead, fire away. You can put 2, 3, 4, 5. The more carbs, the better. Am I right? So anyways, drop some comments. I want to see what some of you guys' favorite carb sources are in here. Let's get this going, because if I had to choose, oh man, I'm boring, guys. I'm really boring. I guess because I'm the trainer, I'm supposed to have some healthy or some. I'm only gonna have healthy options, but I'll give you one. So my favorite good carbohydrate, right? Which we'll get into good and bad and good and bad carbs in a minute here. I'm a big white rice person. I'm a big white rice person, but outside of the healthier side of things, I can't get enough of ice cream. I probably crave ice cream every day of my life. And this is great because I had an entire pint of ice cream last night, and I was 1.5 pounds less this morning. So we'll go over all of that soon, okay, guys? So because obviously today's topic is carbs after dark. So what do we got here? We got pizza and beer. We have all of the breads, pastas, beer. We like to enjoy carbs from all of our wonderful best of winners. Oh yeah, there you go. That's definitely true. But anyway, so carbs, right? Friend or foe, right? So let's real quick start with just what exactly are carbohydrates? What are their role in our bodies and such? Okay. So carbohydrate, okay, is our body's primary source of energy. Right? So when I talk to people and we're discussing, what their current diet looks like right now, or maybe what strategies they've used in the past when it comes to losing body fat, right, and getting in shape or starting their fitness journey, usually there's one common theme, right? How many times have you heard someone say, oh, Justin, or to you even, if you're watching this, oh, I'm going to go low carb, I'm going to go no carb, right? Super, super popular thing to do. But what happens when we do that, right? We remove our body's primary energy source, right? Our body's primary energy source. So really, you're taking away the number one thing your body needs to perform and function. So what happens is, right, we remove our body's primary source of energy, but we're still trying to go to the gym. We're trying to get our workouts in. We're going to take our classes, take our boot camp, take our body pump, all of these things, aerobics, and we just don't have the energy, right? We're lacking that energy. So now, since we've removed our body's primary source of energy, we're trying to get to the gym after a long day of work or early in the morning when you really probably don't have much energy at all, right? and you're not really getting that much out of your training. So it's a domino effect, right? You're removing your body's primary source of energy, and now you don't have much to fuel you for your training sessions, and now you're not getting anything out of your training sessions. So now you're not building any muscle or retaining any muscle, or now you're not burning as many calories, so your workouts are now not nearly as productive, right? See what I mean? So when it comes to carbohydrates, they are essential for fat loss. Now, unless you are a fan of the ketogenic diet, the ketogenic lifestyle, because that's really what it is, then it's a completely different story. Maybe it's a topic, if you guys are interested, we can cover, because everyone wants to know about keto. Should I do keto, blah, blah, because as we know, ketogenic lifestyle, I don't like calling it a diet, ketogenic lifestyle, is a lifestyle that does not involve carbohydrates, right? It's all about dietary fat, right, as our main energy source. But anyways, so guys, carbohydrates, we got pizza in here. Yeah, oh yeah, pizza. I definitely can't get enough of that as well. But anyway, so just want to cover that first, right? And why taking away carbohydrates should not be your first move when it comes to weight loss, when it comes to fat loss, okay? Because you're going to run yourself into the ground very fast, right? It's very popular among the crash dieting crowd, right? The crash dieting theme of weight loss, okay? Where it's all about trying to lose the weight as fast as possible. So let's just remove carbohydrates. But really, the only thing you're really doing is you're just removing calories from your diet. That's all. You could do the same thing with fat. You never hear someone say, I'm going no fat, I'm going low fat, right? You take out the dietary fat, you're going to take out even more calories, right? Because dietary fat yields more calories per gram than carbohydrates. It's more calorically dense, yeah? You never hear anyone say that, very rarely, right? So going back to the carbohydrates, when you are going to make that step into your fitness journey, right? And you're thinking, what should I do? Just get rid of all my carbs. What's going to happen is carbohydrates, they have a very large role in regulating hormonal function, okay? And a hormone called leptin, okay, which controls your hunger, right? And what happens is you deprive yourself of your body's main source of energy and, right, carbohydrates, right, which is carbohydrates. You are going to start having what? Really bad cravings, yeah? So what happens is, you're on your low carb diet, 4 or 5 days in a row, you're powering through it, you're pushing through it, you've dropped a couple pounds just because you're eating less, there's less food volume in your gut, you're feeling good about the number on the scale, and then what happens? Right, you get really bad cravings and you cave. It happens to everybody, even me. Back in the future, or back in the past, right? Of trying a low carb diet or something like that, and getting really bad cravings that you give into, right? And that's just not going to be sustainable. Okay, it's just not going to be sustainable, right? And that's just going to lead us into the main topic of today's discussion, which is getting carbs after dark. But really, what carbs after dark means is your eating habits in a way that reflects your lifestyle, and that's something that you enjoy. Okay, so let me put this into perspective for you real quick. Okay, I did touch on this in an earlier training, okay, which you guys can find on Mainline Today's website, right? All of the trainings on there. You'll find a link to FitFest, and you'll find all of the previous trainings in there. I'll go over that at the end as well, but all of these will be saved on the website as well, so you guys can refer to these trainings at any time. Melissa had pizza twice yesterday. Wonderful. Now get a good workout in today, right? Not to burn it off, but to put it to use. Not to burn it off, to put it to use. And, that has to do with your relationship with food. So we'll do a training on relationship with food as well in the future. But anyways, circling back, okay, today's main topic is, let me put something in perspective for you, right? We talked about it a little bit on Monday's training where, people don't lose motivation in their fitness journey, right? You'll hear fitness coaches say all the time, they'll post, they'll write about, hey, they just don't have it. They don't have the discipline. They just don't have it. They don't have the dedication, right? They're lazy. They're weak-minded. And it's like, that's very false, okay? It's the fact that they're doing something that they don't enjoy, okay? The reason why people give up or slow down or quit on their fitness journey is not because they're lazy, it's not because they're weak. It's not because they lack discipline. It's because they're doing something they don't enjoy. So that goes right back to low carb or stop not eating carbs after dark, right? Is your everyone loves carbohydrates, right? And we talked about how transformation in our health is only valuable unless it's permanent, right? So you're gonna take one of the things that you love the most. Look at all this stuff: pizza, beer, all the breads. Like I want to see you guys drop a comment. Like I love carbs. I'm gonna see like how much you guys really love carbohydrates. And then once you see how much you really love carbohydrates, why would you just take it away? Why would you just take something away? You really think that's going to be sustainable, right? But that's okay. We tend not to think logically about things when it comes to weight loss. I'm guilty of it too, right, in the past. So it's completely normal. But anyways, you're going to take away one of the things that you love the most, and that's going to help you reach your goal, really, and it's going to help you make it permanent. Like think about that, right? You're going to remove carbohydrates. You're going to lose 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 pounds, right? And you lose that 10 pounds. And then what are you going to do? It's going to bring the carbs right back in, right? And then what's going to happen? You find yourself like gaining weight again. You just go back to your old eating habits, right? So today we want to talk about proper eating habits that can work very well for you. It's a strategy that we use in the Revive program that works very, very well for a lot of people. And it's something that you guys can certainly try. Again, I want to preface that this is a strategy that you can use, okay, for weight loss. It doesn't need to be a permanent like substitution for the way you eat. Okay, it can be something that you can use to lose body fat once and for all, and then potentially, keep it off as well. Okay, so this just again, it doesn't need to be a permanent replacement for the way that you eat. I love carbs. I love carbs. Yes, we need to get some like I love carbs t-shirts in here. So anyways, I actually have a couple shirts that say carbs with a heart in it. But anyway, so guys, so this strategy is we want to be able to, when it comes to losing weight and losing body fat, we're only going to stick to what we enjoy. Okay, let me give you an example here that'll make sense. Okay, for example, guys, right? How many of you watch TV or watch Netflix, right? How many of you, if you watch Netflix, I want you to comment on the video your favorite Netflix show or movie, or just Netflix in all caps, or your favorite TV show, anything, whatever it is, Breaking Bad, Lost, I don't know, Lost, that's old, but like any show, what's your favorite show? Something, give me a movie or a TV show you really, really, really enjoy that you can't get enough of, that you could watch all day long. Right? So drop that in the comments. The reason I'm having you do this is because think about that, right? I'm having you think of something like a TV show that you could watch all day long. Now, when you think of this TV show, when you think of this movie, right? Ask yourself, do you have to motivate yourself to watch that show? Do you have to motivate yourself to watch? Do you have to motivate yourself to watch Netflix? Do you have to motivate yourself to watch Eagles game? Do you have to motivate yourself to watch a movie? No. Why is that? Because it's fun, okay? I want you guys to understand, if there's one major thing you take away from today's training is that people do not lose motivation, they lose interest, right? And fun and interest, those are the keys to sustainability. And we know that when we want to lose body fat, we want to lose weight, right? Carbs equal the devil. That is so false. No, to get rid of that, no carb. Devil, carbs are your friend. They're your friend, not the devil. But listen, think about your favorite show, favorite movie. We don't need to be motivated to do that. We don't need to be motivated to watch our favorite show. We do it and we enjoy it, right? And think about how often or how long you could watch it for, right? Why? Because it's sustainable. You would agree that watching TV is sustainable, right? You could easily kill 10, 11, 12 hours binge watching Netflix or a TV show, right? Same thing with your health, your nutrition, your fitness, your workouts, whatever. It needs to be something that you enjoy and that's sustainable. Got it? So I just want to be clear on that. So when it comes to having the right weight loss strategy for yourself, it needs to be enjoyable. It needs to be fun in order for it to be sustainable. Got it? Fun and interest makes it sustainable. So if you're removing carbohydrates, which you love so much, and then now you're not getting as much out of your workouts, you feel miserable, you have these really bad cravings, and then on the weekends, you go out to dinner with your friends, you start drinking, or you have a couple of drinks, you have the cheese fries, the mozzarella sticks, and you have all these carbs, and then it's over, and you just repeat that cycle. All right, so we're putting an end to that cycle right now. So, anyways, carbs after dark method. Oh, it works very well. Let's think about it, okay? How many of you guys get cravings at night, right? It's 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, your day is done for the most part, sun's going down, you're chilling on the couch. You're just like, man, that like Ben and Jerry's in the freezer just like is really, really calling my name right now. Or the Oreos in the cabinet or the pretzels. It's really, really, let me just have like one bite. Like, just get a spoon, I open up the ice cream, just take one bite. And then that one bite might turn into 2, 3, 4, half the container, and then to the Oreos, because you already botched it, so might as well just eat everything, right? So anyways, guys, what we want to do is we actually want to situate our carbohydrates 2 ways, okay? One is going to be, like I said, after dark, and 2 is going to be around our workouts. So let's just focus on carbohydrates after dark for now, and then later I will touch on carbohydrates just around your training session. And again, I want to preface that this is specifically for fat loss and a strategy that can and will most likely work for you if it works with your lifestyle, your eating habits. Okay, it does not need to be a permanent solution or a permanent way of eating. Okay, it's just to help you lose weight and keep it off in a sustainable way, in a way that you enjoy, because we already covered that, right? So anyways, what we want to do is we want to give ourselves those carbohydrates when we crave them the most, right? Think about it, when we're late at night and we're craving the most, okay? So that's why carbs after dark works really well. So let me quickly debunk the whole myth, right, that everyone talks about, right? It's like, oh, Justin, but you can. I'm like saying all these things about carbs after dark, and you guys, some of you may be thinking, but Justin, you can eat carbs after dark. That's just what I've been told for years. That's what I know, right? You can't, because it's not processed, right? You're just laying in bed. You're not using those carbs, so it's just gonna be stored as body fat, right? So quick general knowledge on nutrition, right? Everything comes down to the total amount of energy that we are consuming and expending. Meaning, if you are eating or consuming more energy than you are burning, energy meaning calories, you will gain weight, okay? If you are consuming less energy than you are burning on a daily basis, you will lose weight, okay? So you will gain weight if you're eating more calories than you burn. You will lose weight if you're eating less calories than you burn. Every single route of fat loss, weight loss strategy all boils down to the same thing. You must be in a caloric deficit over a sustained period of time in order for you to lose weight. You could do it through keto, you could be vegan, you could do intermittent fasting. It doesn't matter. It all boils down to, hey, you're eating less calories at the end of the day than you're burning, right? So let's say for me personally, let's just say I needed, random number, arbitrary number, 2,000 calories here to lose weight, right? Let's just say 2,000 calories. That would put me at a deficit. And if I eat 2,000 calories at the end of the day, I'm going to lose weight, okay? And let's say it's 6 p.m. and I've had 0 calories. I've had 0. And between 6 and 8 p.m., I have 2,000 calories. Right? And all 2,000 calories of those come from carbohydrates. All of them. I go right to bed and I fall asleep. And I did that for 2 weeks straight. I would lose weight. I would probably lose 5 or 6. I'd probably lose more than that. I'd probably lose like 7 pounds, because 2,000 calories to me is like nothing. Not to make anyone jealous. But so I would lose a lot of weight. Now, at the same time, that's also extremely unhealthy. Okay, cramming that much food, putting all that food in my digestive tract at one time is not really healthy. And then also number 2, not getting enough protein in is also not recommended as well. So if all of those calories came from carbohydrates, not good, okay? But I'm just giving you an example right? When we look at the big picture, okay, when we look at the big picture, all that matters is the total energy intake. So what I want you guys to practice, okay, is take some of those, skip like the bagel at breakfast, okay? Skip having the white rice at lunch. That way you can have your pasta at night. You can have a piece of garlic bread with your pasta at night. You can have your sweet potato. You can have more rice then, right? Because that's when you crave it the most. So, for example, it might look something like this, okay? For breakfast, which I recommend, right, when you're in a fat loss journey, weight loss journey, using this strategy, I recommend doing a bit of like a morning fast, right, where you fast up until about noon, anywhere between noon and 2 o'clock. Now, again, guys, this is dependent on the person, what you're able to enjoy, and so on. This is just kind of directly how we might do it from the Revive program, right, where you might fast up until 2 o'clock, and then you'll have your first meal, your breakfast, right? Breakfast, even if it's 2 o'clock, meal one, breakfast, whatever you want to call it, okay? And that could be a protein source and vegetable sources, right? So you can have an omelet with vegetables. You can make a salad with spring mix and use chicken and dressing even, which is fine, or some like low-fat cheese as well. And then that could be your first meal. And then repeat something similar for the second meal. Maybe you have a piece of protein as well. It could be chicken, it could be fish. It could be anything really. It could be a shrimp, anything, and then more vegetables as well. But then at night for your dinner, right, you'll still have another protein source as well. You'll have your vegetable sources, okay, but you can have your carbohydrate source as well because that's when you're craving it the most. Okay, you have that carbohydrate source, right? You can have that pasta. You can have, some bread with your dinner, whatever it might be, your mashed potatoes. Whatever, some other ones, and your pizza and your beer, things like that. But guys, if you push your carbs to at night when you crave them the most, you're going to be so much less likely to overeat on them. That's the main idea here, is we just don't want to overeat on the carbohydrates. You can still eat carbohydrates, you just don't want to overeat on them. Now, you might be saying, well, Justin, I don't know how much carbohydrates I should specifically be eating, like how many grams. Now that is another topic that we would have to talk about, right? Is calculating your own calories, calculating your own macronutrients, which are proteins, fats, and carbs, right? Those are what equal calories, yeah? So we'll probably do a separate training on that as well. But for now, I wouldn't worry about that at all. I would worry about, again, fasting till 2 o'clock, right? Drink your water, you can have coffee, you can chew gum, have that first meal of protein and vegetables. A couple hours later, have that second meal of protein and vegetables, and then that third meal, right? You can have those extra carbohydrates, right? And because you're pushing it all the way back to the end of the day, where that window of eating is small anyways, I mean, you're talking after 7 p.m., you're probably going to bed, somewhere between 9 and 10, 11. It's just you don't have as much of a big window. So even if you did have a little bit of extra carbohydrates, like a good portion of pasta, a good portion of potatoes, even like mac and cheese or something, right? It's not going to put you over the edge because you stayed away from all those carbohydrates in the morning, okay? So here's a quick key point I want to make, though, because it's a common mistake people make is be careful with things like Starbucks drinks or Dunkin' Donuts drinks. Like, oh, Justin, I had my coffee this morning. Well, sorry, you didn't have just a coffee. You had like a 700-calorie drink, right? So just be mindful of that. When we're talking fasting till 12 or 2 o'clock, we're talking 0 calories, right? Water, black coffee is fine. If you want to use a little bit of creamer, that's fine as well. Just be careful with it, like adding in too much to it, right? And then again, protein and vegetable meal. Make it fill and have a good portion of protein. Should be at least, a fist size. Really, as much vegetables as you really enjoy. And then later, a couple hours later, the same exact thing. A nice sized protein source or protein portion, at least a fistful, okay? And then lots of vegetables. And then that meal at night, you can have really any carbohydrate you really want. And that's the thing, and not feel guilty about it. Like, for example, I'll just give you an example of what my day looked like yesterday, okay? Because I am currently, here you go, almond milk and Splenda. That's great. Just keep it real light on the almond milk. Just splash. That's all you need, okay? Not half coffee, half almond milk. So anyways, let me just give you an example of how I set up, and that's a good one. Happy hour after work. I'll talk about how you can make that work and also how you can include alcohol into this as well. Okay. So, for example, yesterday, right, I'm also lots of veggies are high carb. Not necessarily. For example, you're not going to find a vegetable, but it's not nearly as concentrated as what we're talking about, which is like a potato or a rice or a bread or a pasta, something like that, right? So high carb, we're talking like when we talk high carb, we're talking when one serving size is going to be at least 25, 30 grams of carbohydrates. So like a serving of broccoli, which is about 85 grams of broccoli, that's going to be 2 grams of carbohydrates. You can have like a big bowl of spring mix, which is going to get you 5 or 6. The higher carb vegetables are things like carrots, but even like a serving of carrots is still only going to get you 7, 8, 9 grams of carbohydrates. So in the big picture, we're not trying to go like zero carb. It's impossible, right? Because there's always going to be trace carbohydrates in vegetables and such, but they're definitely not high. They're not concentrated, right? They're not concentrated like potatoes, rice, pasta, breads, things like that. Yeah. So that's all we're trying to do is we're trying to just remove that bagel from lunch. Remove that. Pasta or the bagel from breakfast, the pasta from lunch, and just push it back to when you really crave it the most, which is at night. Because again, that's what's going to lead you to better adherence, right? We need something that when we're trying to lose body fat, we're trying to lose weight, we need a strategy for us that we can adhere to. You're only going to be able to stick to and get results from what you can adhere to. And if you're pushing your carbohydrates to after dark or at night, right, and you're able to adhere to that better, then you're going to have a really nice time losing body fat and not being miserable, right? And not feeling really deprived and so on. So, anyways, circling back to me, for example, yesterday, okay, when I'm trying to lose weight or diet down a little bit, I do use this strategy because it works for me and my lifestyle, and I adhere to it. So yesterday I had my first meal at noon. I just had a omelet with about half a cup of egg whites, 2 whole eggs. I put spinach, mushrooms, and tomato in there, and that was my first meal, right? And then a couple hours later, I had elk. That's just what I have in my freezer. I like elk, okay? And it was a gift from a client. I had elk over just a lot of spring mix, and I just used a light Italian dressing on that as well. And that was my second meal. And then at night, okay, I went out for a big walk. I did like an hour and a half of walking. At night it was a rest day off from the gym. And I came home and it was about 8 o'clock, 8:30, right? And so that's when I had my carbohydrate sources. I had chicken breast. I had about 2 cups of white rice, okay? I had more vegetables. I had spinach, and I also had carrots in there as well. And then an avocado, which is a fat source, and that was my dinner. Okay, and then right before bed, I literally ate it in bed last night, just like a typical, American person I am, eating in bed at night, watching TV. Right? I had a pint of Enlightened ice cream, and Enlightened ice cream is a low-calorie, like high-protein ice cream that tastes really freaking good, like really good. And I ate the whole pint in bed. Woke up, got on the scale, pound and a half down. Why? Because I still ate less calories than I burned yesterday. I still had my body in a calorie deficit. And throughout the day, I wasn't really doing too much. I was working on my computer for hours. I mean, I was sitting down for hours, like 5, 6, 7 hours. I'd take a couple breaks, go for a small walk here and there. I didn't really need carbohydrates. I wasn't really craving them. But at night, after that walk, there was one thing on my mind. All right, it was, I need those carbs, and I want that ice cream. I want that rice. I gave my body it, and I was a pound and a half down this morning, right? So it's all about creating a system, creating a diet or eating habits that you are most likely able to adhere to. And when we think carbohydrates are bad, we can't eat carbohydrates, we take them away from our diet, right? And then we run ourselves in the ground because we have no energy. It's just going to be that vicious cycle of take carbohydrates out, lose 4 or 5 pounds, we slip up or they come back in, we gain the 4 or 5 back, and repeat. right? We're here, we're pushing our carbohydrates back to the end of the day where we crave them the most, right? Where they are filling us up before bed, and we go to bed and we're satisfied. It's that simple. So this is a really good question I want to cover here, which is just happy hour, like after work, right? Same type of thing applies. So same type of meals leading up, protein and a vegetable for breakfast, protein and vegetable for lunch. Again, you're still, if you want, you can practice the fasting till 12 or 2, right? And then it's happy hour after work. Oh my God, Justin, what am I supposed to do? It's Friday, it's 4 o'clock. We always go to this place after, like I hear it all the time. Really, nothing changes. This is where it just becomes more about mindset and just being mindful of what you're eating, okay? So when we go out to happy hour, and if you remember, we're talking specifically about fat loss here. We're talking specifically about someone who is interested in losing weight. So here's our goal right here of, okay, I'm seriously interested in losing weight. I'm committing to my health. I'm committing to this journey, right? And then there's happy hour and like what we normally eat at happy hour, right? Well, if this normal what we eat at happy hours, wings, mozzarella sticks, cheese fries, and a lot of alcohol, then you just negated this over here. It doesn't work like that, okay? When someone has fitness goals, they need to have fitness habits, okay? And if your habit is constantly going to happy hour and drinking a lot of alcohol, eating a lot of food, that habit does not reflect your goal at all. Right? So you certainly can go to happy hour, have a drink or two, right? Go there and have, if you haven't had any of your carbs yet today, and you go there and you have like a burger of some sort, so you actually eat the bun, okay? You'll be fine. You're mindfully eating. But if you go there and you start with a couple of drinks, and then you're picking at all these finger foods and appetizers, right? And then you go have a dinner. Are you really trying to lose weight? You can't have really both. And that's where people struggle is, hey, Justin, I want to lose 50 pounds. Great. That's awesome. But they have they binge drink or they binge eat on the weekend. And that's totally common between both of those, totally common. It's just a bad habit that they need to fix first. So when it comes to happy hour, absolutely, does this method work with that? Absolutely. You just need to be mindful of what you're eating, okay? And I'm telling you now, when you're just picking at things, you don't think you're eating that much, it adds up very, very quickly, okay? Very quickly. So have your drink a lot of water before you eat as well, and remind yourself, right? I'm on a weight loss journey. I'm on a fat loss journey, right? So I'm making a temporary sacrifice, right? I'm making a temporary sacrifice of not overdoing it at happy hour, for the period of time, right? To, reach my goal. But remember, right? By the time you reach your goal, your habits will have changed. You're not going to feel inclined to go to the bar or go out and overeat and overconsume calories of alcohol, right? See what I mean? So if this is making sense, I want you to comment fitness habits. So drop a comment if you're just to make sure you're still awake and paying attention. I want you to comment fitness habits, okay, in the comments. Let me see it, big and bold, capital letters, fitness habits, because those people who constantly talk about losing 40, 50 pounds, but every single weekend or whatever, they're out and they're overeating and drinking too much alcohol, it doesn't add up, right? And over that period of time, that's when we always say, losing weight and getting in shape really is a lifestyle change. Because over the period of time that you're losing this weight, that you lose that 30, 40 pounds, you change the way you think of carbohydrates, you change the way you eat carbohydrates, it's a permanent change, right? You don't feel like you need to overeat when you go out. You don't feel like, oh my gosh, like that used to be me. Like, years ago when I was younger, like in high school and stuff, I would think like, oh my gosh, like, I can't wait to go to this restaurant, look at the menu, like, 3 days prior, what can I get? You know what I mean? I just go overboard, and that's completely changed. I don't even look at a menu until I get to the place, and whatever I feel like getting, I get. That's bottom line, because my habits have changed. So fitness habits, we got a couple in here, right? So I wanted to talk about that because it's really, really important, right? Your habits will change, right? So real quick, I want to go back to part 2 of how to eat carbohydrates. We talked about how it can help you after dark. Why? Because that's when we crave them the most, right? And if we eliminate them throughout the day for the time being, and we push them back in the day, you're going to be less likely to overeat on them, right? Less likely to overeat of them, okay? Unless you're, you know, like a competitive eater or something, you just go crazy. But it won't, because remember, you're on a fitness journey. We have to remind ourselves that things are going to change. Sacrifices will have to be made, but remember, it's a temporary sacrifice, okay? And that's a mindset thing that we talk a lot about in the program is, when we make sacrifices on our journey, we have to remind ourselves that they're temporary. They're not permanent. You're doing this right now to change how you are going to be in the future, okay? So number 2 is going to be carbohydrates around your training sessions. This is also another really effective way to keep your carbohydrates in check, prevent you from overeating, and again, lose weight and keep it off, okay? And this is, again, one of these habits we talk about, right, where you pretty much only eat carbohydrates around your training sessions, okay? So, for example, maybe you're someone who likes to work out really early in the morning. You like to go before work. You take your class or you just go to the gym when no one's there. That's just what you like to do, okay? So you're going to have your carbohydrates late at night before dinner, or I'm sorry, before bed, after dinner, because that's essentially going to be before your workout, because you're someone who gets up 5:30, 6 o'clock, and you go and work out, right? So that would be carbohydrate number 1. Carbohydrate number 2 would be immediately after your workout, right? So whatever meal you decide to eat after your workout, right? It could be like some Greek yogurt with fruit and granola. It could be a smoothie with fruit and oats and protein powder and peanut butter, whatever. It could be a lean protein source like chicken and a white rice or a potato or something like that. Whatever it is, that's going to be your carbohydrate for the day. And then again, you won't eat another one until late at night, right? So if you're someone who works out in the morning, you wake up and pretty much train on just water, coffee, and I have never met anyone over the course of 5 years of coaching people. I have never met anyone who works out at 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning and eats beforehand. If that's you, I recommend just having something light like a banana or an apple or a handful of blueberries. But I honestly would just train fasted because you're going to eat carbohydrates the night before. That's going to be your energy source for the next morning's workout. So again, if you're training really early in the morning, you'll have your carbohydrates the night before, right, after dark, and then after your workout, and then lunch and dinner throughout the day, or snacks, or no carbohydrates through then, right? And then again at night, you'll have a carbohydrate before you go work out the next morning, right? If you're someone who works out later in the day, okay, maybe like after work, you might have breakfast, no carbs, just protein, vegetable, fat, right? And then lunch, you might have, again, no carbohydrates, or if it's a late lunch, it's your pre-workout meal, then add the carbohydrate then. And have it before your workout, right? That's your lunch, it's your pre-workout meal, about 3 o'clock while you're at work. You go do your workout, you come home, have dinner, have your carbohydrate then as well, and then that's it for the day, okay? So why carbohydrates around our workout? Because that is when our body is most sensitive to nutrients, okay? Our body is most sensitive to nutrients around when we train, right? Hormones, everything are elevated, right? They're up-regulated, okay? So they're going to be processed a lot better that way, okay? They're going to be stored as glycogen more efficiently that way. Got it? So if you're going to be eating carbohydrates and you don't really want to just push them all to after dinner or late at night, then just separate them between before and after your workout. You just have one small carbohydrate source before your workout and then one after, and you should be good to go. I want to answer this question here. My son's coach told him he has to eat a PB&J sandwich after every workout. Okay, so common thing to hear. It's not that a peanut butter and jelly sandwich is this magical thing that you might hear also too. A coach of some sort might say, like a sports coach might say, oh, you have chocolate milk after your workout or something like that, right? It's not because these foods are special. It's not because they do anything inherently amazing. It's just an easy way for, I'm assuming, your son is young, maybe 18 or younger, a tasty way to just get calories in. That's all. That's really, and a PB&J sandwich is easy to eat. It's calorically dense. It has simple carbohydrates in the bread and in the jelly, which is really what you want post-workout. It has a healthy fat source in peanut butter as well. If you're getting natural peanut butter, which please, anyone who's watching this video, please, 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 only buy peanut butter with the ingredient. There should be one ingredient. It should say peanuts. That's it, please. If you have children and you're watching this video, please do not get peanut butter unless the only ingredient is peanuts. And yes, you might have to stir it. Big deal. No, but seriously, guys, it should only have its peanut butter. It should have one ingredient. But the PB&J thing is just a very easy way for young kids to get calories in. I mean, it's even something I might recommend because I'm doing the strength conditioning coordinator at Marple Newtown High School. And I already have a meal plan in place for the students there, for the student athletes there, for depending on their sport. And I know the PB&J thing is just a common thing. Like I said, it's just something that is an easy, delicious way to get calories in for kids to eat, because it's easy to eat, it's quick, it's simple, but it has nothing to do with any special ability in regards to recovering or making progress or anything like that, right? You could take the exact amount of calories from a peanut butter or jelly sandwich, the amount of protein, the amount of carbs, the amount of fat, the amount of sugar, and just replicate that in another form of another meal, right? You could just take peanut butter, you could take banana, and you could take protein powder and another fruit and just blend it up and drink it, and it'd be the same thing as eating the peanut butter and jelly. So hopefully that answers your question. But I want to recap here and kind of touch on, because there might be some new people in here in the beginning, and I just want to recap, okay, on the carbs after dark method. We know that when it comes to weight loss, when it comes to fat loss, we need something that is sustainable. Now, what makes something sustainable? It has to be interesting. We have to be interested in it. We have to enjoy it. Again, guys, take notes on this stuff and write it down. It has to be sustainable. What makes it sustainable? We have to be interested in it, and it has to be fun to us. If I started with a client who doesn't like running, and I said, you're going to run a mile every single day, do you really think this would work out? It absolutely wouldn't. We take your favorite food source, right? We take your favorite food source. When I asked you guys at the beginning of the video, I said, comment your favorite carbohydrate. We got pizza, beer, like all this stuff, pasta, bread. Okay, you're never eating it again. Is that really sustainable? No, you will lose weight when you take it out, but you will gain it back every single time. I promise you that, okay? All right, so it has to be sustainable. It has to be something we enjoy, right? Imagine if I said, hey, what's your favorite food? You said pizza. I said, imagine if I told you you had to eat pizza every day to reach your goal. You'd be like, oh my gosh, Justin, sign me up for your program right now. But that's hypothetically speaking, but you get the point, because it's based around foods that you enjoy. Now, at first, you might have some fear, right? You might think, oh my gosh, Justin, this is terrifying. I can't believe I'm going to eat pasta when the sun is down. Think about that. Another thing I forgot to mention is your body doesn't know what time it is. The cells in your body have no idea what time of day it has. It doesn't even know what the sun is. It has no idea the difference between light or dark. All it does is just survives. That's it, right? So your body does not know. It's nighttime, can't use these carbohydrates. That's completely false, 100% false. Everything I am telling you is scientific evidence, okay? Your body has a revolving, never-ending clock. As long as that you're in a negative energy balance, you're eating less calories than you burn throughout that revolving clock, you will be fine, okay? And if situating your carbohydrates at the end of the day where you crave them the most helps you maintain that negative energy balance, then this strategy is going to work very well for you, okay? Because we crave our carbohydrates at night when we want that ice cream, we want that cookie or whatever, and that's fine. Those types of foods, though, too, again, you just want to practice being mindful of. Don't think to yourself, here's a mindset tip for you guys all. I really want you to really hear me out on this one, okay? Is change what you think about food, right? Stop saying, I can't have that. And just tell yourself, I don't want it. I don't want it. I just don't want it because I don't need it right now. It's not that I can't have that cookie. It's not that I can't have that key lime cheesecake. I just don't want it. I just don't want it right now. That's all, right? So keep that in mind. Change the way you think. It's just like someone who's a vegan, right? You don't ever hear them say like I can't have that ground beef. I can't have that chicken because they could just eat it and then not be a vegan anymore. They don't want it because they have a strong ethical belief in why they don't want it and then why they don't choose to eat it. So when it comes to certain foods like cookies and ice cream or whatever, remind yourself it's not that you can't have it, it's that you just don't want it. You don't have to have ice cream every night before bed. You don't have to want cookies every night before bed. And if you're saying, Justin, but I do, then that's something you have to change and you have to work on. Your relationship with food, right? And your mindset around your nutrition, right? You want to lose 20 pounds? Well, you need to change the way you think about food. And you don't have to have 5 cookies every night before bed or ice cream before bed. You can have that, once, twice a week. And you can love that and be happy with that. There was a question up here that I missed. Okay, are chicken wings better because they have no carbs or bad because they are fried and have fat? It's really, if we're talking like what we're talking about, which is saving carbs after dark, there's not, wings aren't going to be the most carb heavy thing. They are going to be more protein and fat, right? Because there's the breading that goes on it, yes, does have carbohydrates, but it's not like if you went and just had nachos or if you had French fries or cheese fries, something like that. So if we're talking saving your carbs till the end of the day and you're out at happy hour, I wouldn't really recommend the chicken wings. I would honestly get something that has a pasta or a rice or, even the French fries. Even seriously, you get a burger with fries, there's nothing wrong with that at all. Just be careful the amount of sauce they put on it, the amount of cheese they put on it. I personally just made it a fitness habit. When I go get a burger, I just don't enjoy getting cheese on it anymore. Seriously. But I'm not saying you don't have to. I'm not saying you have to do that. But just for me personally, one of these habits that I've gotten is if I go to Wawa and I get a sandwich, I just don't put cheese on it. It doesn't do anything for me. It just adds unnecessary calories that I just don't feel like I need. You know what I mean? But again, guys, everything we talked about today was specifically for weight loss and fat loss, not a permanent switch in your nutrition. So the next time you're thinking, hey, you know what, I'm going to give this weight loss thing a shot, okay, always ask for additional help. Obviously, working with a coach or working in a group of people is always a smart move. But if you just want some general information, try this strategy. Fast till 12 to 2 p.m., have a protein and a vegetable meal, have a second protein and vegetable meal, and then have your carbohydrate with that third meal, that dinner, right? So just keep all your carbohydrates to the end of the day. You can have some ice cream then, you can have a cookie with your pasta, with your potato. But notice I said with your cookie, not with your cookies. With some ice cream, not half the thing. Like I said, that enlightened ice cream, it's like a spin-off of Halo Top, which is very popular. I think it tastes better. It's fantastic. So I want to just leave a minute or two here in case anyone had any questions for me to answer around carbohydrates, around what we talked about today. Just a few minutes here. So if anyone has any questions right now they want to ask about anything we discussed, about carbohydrates, eating after dark, anything like that, drop a comment and let me know. If not, I'll just wrap it up. So I'll give you guys a couple seconds here to ask any questions. But other than that, I really appreciate you guys tuning in today. Really thank you so much for watching today's session. It was definitely a lengthy one, about 50 minutes here. So hopefully you got some good notes. You took some good notes, okay? If you found this session to be really helpful for you and just a lot of good knowledge, make sure to like the video. Make sure to comment, carbs are my favorite. I love carbs, your favorite carb, anything. Drop a comment saying you enjoyed it. Feel free to share it to your page, to your group, to your friends, someone that you think could benefit from this. If you have that friend or that family member that's always going low carb or trying to avoid carbs or scared of carbs, comment their name on this, tag them in this video, share it around so that they can see the truth, okay? So they can get over that fear, okay? Again, a reminder, guys, you can find me here Mondays at 9:30 a.m. and Thursdays at 10:30 a.m., okay, for various sessions, okay? Also, don't forget, Mainline Today will share a link to their FitFest page on Mainline Today's website as well, where you can see the calendar for all the session topics, where you can find them, previous session topics as well, so you guys can refer to these trainings whenever you need them. So I know it's live right now, but they'll be saved for future reference, okay? I love carbs, especially pizza. Again, if you guys have any questions, drop them now while we still have time. But like I said, Mainline Today will share a link on to the FitFest page on their website, which you guys can find all this stuff. And then don't forget, September 12th, okay, Mainline Today has their Healthy You event. This thing is like insane. Like, it's actually insane. It is like, if you just want to get a wealth of information and lots of cool stuff in regards to your health and your fitness and workouts, nutrition, their Healthy You event on September 12th, mark calendars now, right now, get up, take your phone or laptop, go to that calendar, September 12th, Healthy You event, because it'll be a blast, okay? You can also sign up for it online as well on the Mainline Today's website under at the FitFest link, okay? So if anyone has questions, now's the time to ask. Next week's topics are going to be as follows. So on Monday, we're going to talk all about training frequencies, okay? So next week, we did a lot about nutrition this week. Well, we did when to start your fitness journey. Today, we did all about carbohydrates and carbs after dark method, okay, which hopefully you guys try. If you do try it, let me know. It works very, very well. If you need additional support with it, you guys can always reach out to me personally on my personal Facebook page, just Justin McEwen, okay? Don't hesitate. You can find me on Instagram as well. You guys can ask me questions whenever you need help with this. If you need additional help with what we talked about today, do not hesitate to reach out. Message me. Remember, you can't get support unless you ask for it. Anyways, next Monday, right here on Mainline Today's Facebook page, 9:30 a.m., we're going to talk about training frequencies. What workout split should you be doing? Should you be going to the gym twice a week, 3 times per week? Should you be doing full body workouts? Should you do upper body and then lower body? Should you work out one body part at a time? We're going to talk about all different types of ways that you can utilize the gym, utilize the equipment, and find which training frequency works best for you. And that's going to be on Monday. And then on Thursday, we're going to talk about how to get the most out of your training. We're going to be talking about a very special topic, which is called mind to muscle connection, okay? And how it's going to help you get the most out of your training. Because you can show up to the gym, you can get a sweat on, but did you really get the most out of the workout, right? Did you really put the muscles through what they need to be put through in order for them to get stronger, burn more calories, burn more fat, grow bigger, right? So next week's going to be a lot about training. So definitely stay tuned for that, all right? All right, guys. So that's going to be all for today. Thank you so much for watching. Like I said, like it. Drop a comment if you enjoyed it. Tag your friend or family member that is mortified of carbohydrates and have them watch this video. All right, guys. Thank you so much. I will see you right back here on Monday at 9:30 a.m. for the next training. Don't forget, Mainline Today, they will post a link to their website where you can find the FitFest page. You can sign up for the Healthy You event September 12th. Mark it on the calendar. And then you can also find all of those trainings on there as well and see the calendar for FitFest for all the training videos coming for the months of the rest of June, July, and August. All right, so guys, eat your carbohydrates, eat them at night when you enjoy them, when you crave them, and I will see you guys soon. Don't forget, hit me up, reach out to me anytime you guys need help. I am around. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your Thursday. Have a great weekend. Enjoy that ice cream, enjoy that pasta, and stop being afraid of carbohydrates. Use them to train harder and get more out of your workouts. All right, guys? Take care. Bye-bye.